I really love it when Nike Air Foamposite 1s or Nike Air Foamposite Pros come around. I don't care which. Both are great looking shoes and I love to do them for the channel. But there's really two main reasons why I love to do it. One is history. Right here what we're looking at is the Foamposite Floral, which was one of the first videos I did for the channel back in December 2018 that sort of got some interest, you know, more than 4 figures in views, which is rare for me. But also, it's an iconic shoe, you know what I mean? It's one of the best shoes out there, so I just love to look at them. People love me looking at them, if you know what I'm saying. I always get a lot of traction on the videos for Foamposites for some reason. I just love to look at the shoe. It's really unique. It stands alone. It's not part of sort of like a bigger line. There's only like a couple of variations on it. There's a light as well, and of course some smaller versions. So it's not like a Jordan line with, you know, 35 different variants and then different variants of those variants. It's a very unique sort of niche market when it comes to the Foamposite. So I love to look at them. And then this shoe today, I love to look at this shoe. This shoe is absolutely clean front to back. It might be my favorite Foamposite of all time. There are some pretty high ranking Foamposites in my old noggin. There's a grey suede one that I just love. There's the University Reds, which is a strange name for a shoe that barely has any red on it. From last year, it's a great shoe as well. But these guys here, man, they're absolutely beautiful. And there's a particular reason I think that, and a particular shot. Lots of different photos of these shoes, outsoles, insoles, heels, all that kind of stuff. But there's one shot when I looked at it, I was like, man, this Foamposite is one above the rest. So without further ado, let's get into this and take a close-up look at the upcoming release of the Nike Air Foamposite 1 Anthracite Blackout. This is the Tokyo Butter 23 Sneaker Channel. Tokyo Butter 23 Sneaker Channel des.毎日アップするので、毎日見てください. And every single day from Tokyo, Japan, I bring you content about upcoming sneaker releases, sneaker news and sneaker reviews. And it's always about upcoming sneaker releases. And this one is coming out, I think it's October 15th. And this video will probably go live on something like October the 4th or so, which is just right. The perfect sweet spot for my videos, about a week and a half ahead of the drop date, so I can give you guys information about the shoe and maybe a look at something you're thinking about, digging your hand in your pocket for, laying out some cash to get these bad boys. And this one I totally recommend. It's a brilliant looking shoe. It's exactly what I like in shoes. I like simple shoes. I'm not a huge fan of colourful sort of extravagant shoes. I like my shoes simple and solid, and this is everything and more in those terms. There's some really beautiful details on this shoe, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to do what I do at the start of every Foamposite video I ever do, is I always quickly throw up a lateral side of the other shoe. Now today it's a Foamposite 1, and we're looking at the lateral side now, which is a very sleek black lateral side to this shoe. And the thing that I want to point out is the fact that there isn't a swoosh on the lateral side, on the upper there. And then if we flip that out to this shoe right here, and you can see that it does have a swoosh on the lateral side. So you, the uninitiated out there, if you don't know much about Foamposites, that's your quick way to tell if it's a 1 or a Pro. They're the two main Foamposites that are out there. There are a couple of other ones, like I said, lights for example, but basically the two main ones out there are 1s, Foamposite 1s or Foamposite Pros, and then the quick way to tell the difference is that big old swoosh on the side is a Pro, and today no swoosh on the side means it's a Foamposite 1. So quick bit of advice on how to spot shoes if you're new to that kind of thing. If you're not new to that kind of thing, let's just get into this shoe and do what I do whenever I make a statement in the title. Sometimes the titles of my video are just the name of the shoe. You know, this is the shoe we're looking at today, bang. But sometimes I put a little extra in there, and today I put a little extra in there that said the one shot that makes me drool about this shoe. And it really is one shot. All the other shots are great. It's a beautiful looking shoe. Happy to go through all the details on this and tell you what to look for. But there's just this one shot right here that when I looked at that, I was just like, man alive. Honestly, I'm not kidding. You know that I research the shoes before I stand up and talk to you about it. And I have my iPad and I've written up some notes on the shoe, so I'm talking to you from a place of knowledge. And I literally wrote in my notes, this shoe is sexy. And it's an all black shoe, so that doesn't make much sense because usually sexy shoes have a bit more colour in them or a little bit more definition or contrast or something. But all a single colour shoe, it's sort of odd to call it sexy, but when you look at this, there's something about that black that's kind of mysterious. It's kind of sleek. It's it's sexy, and it's a great looking shoe, and that picture right there, as soon as I saw that, I was like, I'm making this video for the channel. That's it, decision made. Let's find the lateral side, let's find the medial side, let's find the insoles, the outsoles, the heels, all that kind of stuff that I usually show you guys. Definitely doing it, but this right here was the hook that reeled me into this shoe, and I was like, yeah, this is one that I'm doing for the channel. So so that's what we're looking at today, is the Anthracite Blackout. Sometimes you'll see it out there, Nike Air Foamposite 1 Anthracite Stop and nothing more. But I think the full name is actually the Blackout, to give it its big title. And it's actually a retro or a re-release, whichever way you want to look at that, from 2007. Now, the originals of these guys have fetched over 4 figures at resale in the adult sizes. This guy's not going to do that. It's a resale or a restock or whatever you want to say, a retro. So it's going to A, not sell as high as the OGs did, and B, it's going to bring down the resale price on the OGs. That always happens when you add more of a shoe onto the market. You're basically saturating demand. So you're going to have the price point come off, but it does have that history. 2007, so it's 13 years ago, and a big sort of hype in the resale market. Foamposites had a sort of spike. They had their time, if you like, but they still have a sort of niche cult following, although they don't really have that sort of central place in the Nike line anymore. Things like Dunks, Air Force Ones, of course the Jordan line are very central, Air Max very central to what goes on at the Nike line these days. But the Foamposites, they had their day, but they still have a niche market out there, and you can see why when you look at a shoe as absolutely beautiful as this one. So let's have a look at some of the details on there. There are a couple of places where I'm going to ask you, do you think that's great? Because it's basically what Adidas would call a triple black. It's a 3-part, the upper's black, the midsole's black, the outsole's black, a triple black shoe. And it is just all black everywhere, but there are a couple of places that I'm like, is that the light shining on black in a funny way? Or is that grey? And I want your guys' opinion on that. So first things first, looking at the lateral side, the full sort of breadth of the shoe. Like I did say, it's an all black shoe, nothing at all in there. I think I'm right in saying, I know I'm right in saying that it's the full size run from like toddler, tiny little shoe, all the way up to adult sizes. But the little shoes, the kids' shoes have more white in them that give a bit of contrast, whereas the adult shoe is just all black. And then if we, I think I'll do it from above actually, I won't zoom in on it. But one of the signature features of Foamposites for me is that they look great from the lateral side, but when you look down from above, they look kind of odd. It's how far the laces stretch into the toe box that makes it that kind of odd look. But zooming in on that toe box and then the way the laces stretch out into there, you can see the A surrounding the laces is that rich black suede that you often get there on Foamposite shoes, and B, there's usually a little swoosh down there on the front part of the lacing system. And in the case of this guy's, it's black. So you've got the black upper, black suede, and then the black embroidered swoosh within that suede to continue that triple black feel. And I'm not saying any of that's great, going back to what I was saying before, but if we go and have a look at the tongues, I think I'll probably look at the tongues from straight on and try and find one, because the laces cover up the branding a bit on the tongues on Foamposites, but I think maybe there's a bit of grey in this to give that branding a bit of definition against the all black background. And I'd really appreciate it if you guys can tell me what you see or know of the branding on these guys. And that's a hard to see example on the tongue there, because like I say, the laces come across and cover it up a little bit. But if we go back from that and have a look on the heel of the shoe, what you'll be able to see there is it's much more pronounced how much branding appears to be in grey on the back here. And again, it might just be a trick of the light and it's all black, but I think the branding is in a very dark grey to give it at least a little contrast and a little point of sort of eyesight for you guys to have a look at, to definition between the branding and the upper itself. And speaking of definition in grey, let's go to the outsole of these guys. All black front to back on the outsole of the shoe, but the outsole sort of hides the midsole, especially the mid-foot shank on these guys, which is that classic carbon fibre, which gives you a whole lot of stability in your foot, especially on the basketball courts. And hopefully I'm zooming in on it actually to see the outsole on these guys and the look through to that mid-foot shank, which is in carbon fibre, and then the carbon fibre is very often the case is black and grey sort of squares or speckles. So I'm sure that that's a little bit of grey on the shoe, but basically coming back out, looking at the full shoe top to bottom, the lateral side is just a triple black shoe. But like I said, there's something about it. It's the upper is a sort of, it's a kind of cross, a hybrid between matte and gloss, between dull and shiny. So it's kind of got a sheen to it, but it's still got like a richness to it. It's like rich, thick chocolate. So it's got that kind of depth in it, but without losing that shiny, glossy feel. So it's a beautiful shoe, an excellent colorway. Everything about it is yes for me. So I hope you guys are going to be out there trying to get these guys, because I definitely recommend this as one of the best foamposites of the year as far as I'm concerned. Oh, and I forgot to mention the Shattered Backboards. That's one of my favourite foamposites as well. The University Reds, the Shattered Backboards, and what did I say was the other one? I'm sure I said there were three foamposites that I really, really like. University Red, Shattered Backboard, and something else. But for now, anyway, enough about that. It's time for me to chip off like I usually do. It's after midnight, so I've got to get this video in the computer and get me some sleep. So thank you guys for checking out the content, and I'll do what I do at the end of every single video, which is remind you that I do this every single day. And that means that you are guaranteed to see me tomorrow.